newsflash, bar prep is not a one-size-fits-all thing, okay? And one of the things, so it's not really a newsflash, I just hear people say newsflash and I thought, yeah. Anyway. Hello and welcome back to Lawtorials. My name is Alelion, HVEC, here at Lawtorials, which stands for Head Bar Exam Coach. And today we're going to be covering how to prepare your bar prep schedule or schedule. So however you say it, that's what we're going to be covering today. So we are actually just going to get straight into it. If you are new, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And yeah, let's get straight into it because I am going to be demonstrating what I did as part of my preparation for bar prep. So a few things I just want to put out there. This part of bar prep is not really bar prep, first of all, okay? So a lot of students either overlook or they tend to overlook or bypass this actual stage of planning, especially those who are self-studying. And this video is more generic. This is the first in a two-part series, and then we'll break it down even further for those who are self-studying. And so, yeah, students tend to overlook this part. And when it gets to the time where they actually, like, this is the day they're planning to start bar prep, that's when they're sitting here like, okay, maybe I'm gonna do some evidence, or which evidence question should I do? Which evidence outline should I do? And that's not what you wanna do. You need to have a plan well before you actually start your bar prep. Setting out your plan and your timetable and all of that stuff is not bar prep. That's schedule prep or schedule prep, whatever. But either way, I just wanna kind of, just put it out there that that's not part of bar prep. That's not what is going to ultimately help you pass the exam on the day you're sitting there at that table doing those questions for those 12 hours. Yeah, over the 2 days. So yeah, that's the first thing. And so it's important to do this activity because you've all heard the saying, fail to plan or plan to fail. Now, I know nobody goes into the bar exam, well, I sure hope not, with a plan to fail. So it's so important to get your plan ready and ahead of time, get it out the way, and then just follow it. And with me, my plan was so detailed. Like literally I started it almost 2 to 3 weeks before I started my actual bar prep. I started getting my plan ready only because I wanted to make sure, because I had done it before many times, and I just wanted to make sure that I had something I could follow. It was flexible, but it was also very detailed, as I said many times now. So I think you just have to remember that if you've got something written down, you're more likely to do it than if you don't. And that's just how it is. If you don't write it down, you're probably not going to do it. And that's just how life is. So yeah, that's another thing I want to say. And another thing, this is a bit of a newsflash. Bar prep is not a one-size-fits-all thing, okay? And one of the things, so it's not really a newsflash. I just hear people say newsflash and I thought, yeah. Anyway, so the whole thing with bar prep is literally, I hear people telling people how to and how not to bar prep. Okay, bar prep, it sounds a bit funny, but the whole thing is everyone is different. Some people say don't start early because you're gonna burn out. Other people say, oh my gosh, you left it too late, you're gonna be like cramming, yeah. And so it's one of those things where if you just keep listening to people's opinions about you and how you should be studying, you're gonna find yourself lost, and you're not going to feel confident about what you're doing because you're just following what someone else says. And obviously I'm here telling you something as well, but what I need you to take away from all of this nice little ramble at the beginning of the video is that you need to make sure whatever you are doing, it literally applies to you. It has to suit you. It has to work for you. Yes, there's going to be times when you're going to be uncomfortable doing long hours of study in a day, but if that's the case, then you can plan to do it. Start earlier and study shorter. Everybody knows what they're like. By now, you probably know your learning styles, you know your attention span, and I'll tell you all about how I broke up my days in terms of study, because I studied myself the last time around, literally right in this spot, anyway. And I'm different from the next person who might not be able to study from home for this amount of time, or whatever. So I just wanted to get all of that stuff out the way. And now we're going to get straight into the demonstration and just walking you through. I do this with my students, and I'm just going to give you a high level overview of the things you need to be looking at when you are planning to start studying for the bar. So let's get straight into it. Okay, so now I'm going to demonstrate. And wait, hi guys, I'm over here in the corner to the left, by the way. Hi. Okay, so the first thing, what I'm going to do is demonstrate just basically everything that I tell my students to do. We go through this exercise normally together, but I'm just going to give you a high level overview. So the very first thing that you want to be doing when you're planning your bar prep is to list everything. Ugh. Sorry, that was really ugly, but okay, list everything that you do. And I know that is not that much better, but anyway. And when I say everything, I literally mean everything, okay? So we'll get to it in a second. The second thing you want to do is determine the frequency. And I mean by that, is it weekly? Is it daily? Is it monthly? Is it hourly? The third thing is to allocate the timings or times. So how long for this task, how long for that task, etc. Hold on. I'm going to have to move this so it doesn't run into my head. Okay. Number 4 is to prioritize, and I spell it the American way since most of my students are American. Prioritize tasks. And then number 5, without it running into my head, is to eliminate tasks. Okay, so this is a very kind of basic, and sorry for the scribbling, I just want to make this a short quick video. Eliminate tasks. So this is kind of the 5-step thing that I did. So when I say, okay, so let's go through each one bit by bit and I'll talk you through it. So let's just do a little squiggly line and then zoom in. So when I say list everything you do, and in fact, we're going to do it in bubbles. We're going to do 1 and 2 together. So let's determine frequencies. I'm just going to do it by daily versus monthly versus weekly. So we're going to do 1 bubble for daily. Another one for weekly. And then another one for what's the other one? Monthly. And monthly, I used to kind of just put this as social. What happened to that? Why? I used to just kind of put that as social, but then actually social engagements should pretty much be only monthly. Well, that's how I did mine. Again, everybody knows themselves, but to be honest, like when it's bar prep season, you just want to put in the time, you just want to sacrifice, do what you have to do. You can go to as many social events once the bar is done. This is the time to kind of put your head down, get focused and just get to it. Okay, so let's just think about some daily tasks. I'm just going to do this very high level because I want to do this as a quick video. Let me just zoom in a little more. Okay, so for daily, let's think things like, and mine was very detailed, by the way. So let's just say, okay, workout. And then obviously bar prep, but we're going to do that as a separate thing altogether. Hey. What's another thing? Okay, obviously like shower. And actually, you could do things like morning routine. In fact, I'm just going to put morning routine, which should include things like waking up, brushing your teeth, showering, meditating, whatever. I'll just put morning routine, which can include your literal morning routine. I did break mine down to be literally... So I did it like this, where I did workout, shower, brush teeth, this, that. Because I know sometimes when I'm in the shower, I can take a long time. And that's not what you want to be. I mean... Again, it's relative to you, but then I just had to prioritize, like, okay, do I want to spend hours? Not that I spent hours, but I just had to give myself actual times and be like, this is how much time I'm spending on this so I can get to the next thing, get to the next thing. It just makes you more productive. Okay, and that's another thing, which I'll get to. Let's think, if you have a doggy, you would want to walk the dog every day, right? Dogs go for walks every day, I think. That is a D. Let's see, like if you read a book, like things like meditating, even still, that's, I guess you could fit that into morning routine. Eating / cooking, depending on whether you do meal prep. So these are just very high level stuff. We're going to go to weekly and I'm just giving you examples so you can see how you could do it. So weekly, maybe if you do meal prep, I did meal prep. I did do meal prep, sorry. Okay, so you got meal prep. Ugh. What else would you do weekly? Maybe Zumba. Maybe you go to a Zumba class or ballet or hip hop or violin or whatever. Maybe things like fellowship if you go to church. I was going to church. For me, it was a very important thing to be, as it was part of my routine. It was things I do. Literally, this is not, we get to the part where we start eliminating things, but then this first part is literally just to get everything out the way. So if you, I had a student, she had to go collect mail weekly. That was the thing she had to do. So she had to factor in time for it. Let me make this, this pen is really thick. Hold on. Okay. Another thing you could do weekly, let's say, I don't know, if you're fancy and you go to the dry cleaners. Not that dry cleaners are only for fancy people, but I like a good sponge of water. Okay, anyway, and a washing machine, of course. Okay, this is getting a bit crowded, so I'm just going to leave it at that. And then monthly would be things like, what could you do monthly? Let's say, okay, birthdays. For me, actually, it worked out that I only had like one birthday a month during my bar prep. So I only went out once a month, and that was my social element, and that was it. That was what I had to do. If there was more than one birthday in a month, then I had to pick and choose. But it worked out quite nicely for me. Birthdays, let's say maybe weddings, let's say also networking maybe. If you are in a place where you're trying to get like a job still and stuff like that, and just go as detailed. I'm just thinking of what I can think of on the spot. I know there's tons of things probably missing here, but then we go to stage 2, which is determine the frequency. We've done that together. So we've done list everything and determine frequency. The next thing is to allocate the times. So I'm going to do this in another color. Allocate times, like how much time per day does it take you to do these things? And you can either do it by how much it takes you right now, and then you would go even further and say how much time you want to spend during bar prep. So let's see, like say workout a day, maybe 30 minutes. I actually started doing HIIT workouts during bar prep because shorter and efficient at the same time, but it's such a good idea to work out, do something to, you know, like release all the tension and whatnot. Eating, let's say 3 meals a day, half an hour. I'm just going to give it 1.5 hours. I'm just doing this as an example. So, of course, it'll be relative to you. Meditate, let's say 30 minutes. I don't think I actually go that long, personally. Read books. Now I read. At the time, I didn't, apart from law school stuff. Read, let's say maybe, I don't know, 20 minutes a day. Maybe longer if you like fictional reading. Walk doggy, let's say 30. And sorry to any dog owners if that's not enough time. I really don't want to neglect your dog of dog walking, but I don't have one, so I actually don't know. Shower, morning routine. Let's just put this in 1. So let's say for your morning routine, you decide to give yourself an hour or 1.5, let's say, depending on what time you wake up. I was actually waking up very early, and this will probably be more relevant to the next video. Waking up like 5 a.m. to start earlier and finish earlier. So let's say 1.5. So that would probably include working out maybe. And then bar prep, relative to everyone, of course. So I'm just going to put 8 to 10 hours. Okay. Unless you're doing part-time, and it might be 4 to 5. Okay. So that's how you would do it. And then for like weekly, you'd do the same. So my meal prep, I'm not gonna lie, with the cooking and then the cleaning and the prep and everything, maybe like 2 to 3 hours for like a whole. I would go so detailed, so much in advance, to the point I was literally bagging the amount of chia seeds and flaxseed that I would have in my oatmeal in the morning, just to, you know, get it out the way. So everything would, on the days, were like boom, 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 boom. Okay, so Zumba, these are normally like an hour classes. Zumba could represent anything. It could be gym, step, whatever. Church, I actually was going like 2 hours a week, maybe 3 hours a week, because it was Fridays and Sundays. And again, you kind of have to think of what's important to you, what helps you stay sane. Collecting mail, she said that was a 10-minute thing. I'm just gonna put 15. Dry cleaners, let's just put 20. Okay, so this is just the idea, but you don't have to do it so much with the monthly ones. And then the final ones would be to prioritize and eliminate tasks. I'm going to do those together as well. So let me just do it. Prioritize. Let's just do prioritize real quick, and then we'll move to eliminate. Prioritizing tasks help you think about what do you absolutely need. So they kind of do go hand in hand. So I know obviously I'm going to prioritize bar prep. So just put the little gold multi-star here, because, you know, that's the whole idea. Obviously prioritize maybe a morning routine, and you can pretty much merge 4 and 5 together. So, and I'm just going to say prioritize this. I don't know why I'm doing so many strokes, but anyway. Okay, so then when it comes to step 5, which is eliminate, you got to look at what you do and think. Obviously, you can't eliminate walking your dog, I hope, unless you have somebody else. That's the thing about prioritizing and eliminating your daily tasks or your weekly tasks. Think about if you've got someone who can walk the dog for you, if it's not part of your morning routine, or someone who could take the dry cleaners or collect your mail, or obviously no one can go to Zumba for you. You know, if you've got someone who can do these things, even if you like invest maybe in meal prep, then fine, do that. So you can prioritize what you need to do and what you don't have to do. So maybe networking is not going to be on your priority during bar prep, then fine. If it is because you need to secure a job and, you know, it works a bit differently for everyone, then it's up to you. You literally just have to go through. If Zumba is something that you do for fun, but you know you could eliminate because you'd rather spend that time at home and just doing nothing, then fair enough. Whereas if it's something that you need to kind of keep you something to look forward to and all of that stuff, then that's a good way to release, then just keep it. So obviously everyone is different. Like dry cleaners, get that water and sponge. I'm joking. You can get someone to go for you, and just things like that. So let me just see. This should have all come together nicely. Okay, it does look a little bit crazy, but that's okay, because the whole idea is, and it's quite clear, just to get an idea of everything. And when I do this with my students, we literally go into so much detail, like to the T, because you've got 24 hours in a day and you need to plan them wisely. You don't want to waste time. One video that I'm going to be doing for you is activity versus productivity. You don't want to just be doing all these activities that is not actually producing a result. You have to be productive when it comes to bar prep. Hold on, I just want to be closer to it. Yeah, this fits better. You just want to be focused. You want to make sure you're doing what you have to do without doing the things that you don't have to do, if that makes sense. So these are the 5 steps that you want to do when you're preparing, especially if you're self-studying. Although even if you have a commercial program, I know they normally have their own tasks. That's another thing that you just want to figure out, the other things that may get in the way, because obviously life doesn't stop for the bar. Yes, it takes over your whole life, but life doesn't ultimately stop when it's the bar exam season or when the bar is on its way. Yeah. But okay, all right, so that closes this up. You can take a screenshot of this if you want. I thought it was going to come together really nicely, but it looks a little bit messy. But hey ho, the information is there. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, so that's all for today's video. As I said, it was very high level, and there will be another video where I'm going to show you, and I'll try and find my the actual paper that I had on this wall in front of me, and we'll go into how to break up your time and the activity of actual things like MBTs, MBEs, MEEs, memorizing, reviewing, lectures, outlines, and all that stuff. So thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure, and I will see you at the next video.
Lord Lawtorials.